All right, we are back. Welcome everybody back to our sports podcast, NFL Week 7 review and Week 8 predictions. I'm Chalk Dog 51, also known as Kelly. We got Randall Bucket here, also known as Brian. Here we are back. Sorry for missing last week. Fortunately, I was not feeling well, so we couldn't do it. I'm not going to get into much detail about it. We're just going to go right into last week here. So starting off, we have the Cardinals at the Saints. Ryan?
Actually, one of the more impressive of the primetime games. A really high scoring affair, and even Andy Dalton putting up 4 touchdowns, but he threw quite a bit of picks and everything like that. And Arizona came out and just got the nice win. It was lucky that they got those wins and those two back to back pick sixes because honestly, Cardinals probably would have lost this game. So great on the defense to step up and we'll see what happens going forward with the Cardinals and the Saints. Both teams are kind of fighting for spots and trying to regain some wins and everything like that. So good matchup, but let's see what's going forward.
Also, before we move on, I forgot to say something I want to clarify. We do not watch every single game. We do not. I've had some people ask us, "Hey, did you watch this game or did you watch that game?" We only watch what we can watch, during the day or whatever we have up on Red Zone. We just see out of the side or what we can see. So I just want to clarify that we do not get to watch every single game. Otherwise, that is just like I think would give me brain overload. Football. I mean, if I could have like multiple TVs up and going, like different games, sure, I could do that.
Five T.
We could almost. All right. Up next, we have Falcons at the Bengals.
Bengals are starting to turn around. They had a very slow start this year, and they are just now turning around, looking like the Bengals from last year. Burrow is playing lights out right now. He's got such an amazing receiver core, and honestly, every week it's always someone different between T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd. This week it was Boyd that had the big game. Also, Chase had a big one as well. So look, watch out NFC or AFC North for the Bengals. They're starting to climb back up and trying to make another run to a Super Bowl.
Yep, getting very hot. Up next, we have the Lions at the Cowboys. Dak Prescott returning back from injury, and Lions
This wasn't really a thing for the offense for Dallas or anything like that. Their offense did fine, but honestly, the reason why they won their defense. They have a lights out defense right now. Micah Parsons is playing at a defensive player of the year kind of mentality. Um, Lions are just struggling. They had a very good start to the year and then haven't really got anything. Amon-Ra St. Brown's been battling injuries. They really don't have anything after him and DeAndre Swift. Um, Honestly, we're starting to see the Lions for what they really are, and Cowboys they bounced back from a loss to the Eagles last week, and going to continue to make a noise in the NFC.
Yeah, and also rumors going around that if Campbell probably loses another game here or two, that he's probably going to be out here in the season. Rumor that I've heard. So
I think
I
let him
know
finish out the year.
that's always been my mentality. Let a coach finish out the season and do
Uh,
it. Don't do it right. First few games or even in college. Shoot, what was it like the third game or whatever?
yeah, it's
Nebraska.
stupid. It's really stupid.
It is because you don't know what could happen going down the road.
Well, again, he's got a team that's battling injuries. Your
Exactly.
best player has been hurt all year, and it's just one of those things that happens.
Exactly. All right, moving on. We have the Colts at the Titans. Looks like probably Matt Ryan's last starting game as a starter.
I mean, it is. They've already said that Sam Ellinger is going to start for the rest of the year.
Who?
Sam Ellinger is a second. He's either a rookie. No, he's a second-year quarterback out of the University of Texas.
Okay.
Honestly, there's not much for you. Matt Ryan looked like trash. Colts look like trash. Titans are going to run away with the division. It is what it is.
Henry's getting hot again. He had a slow start.
Yeah.
As we keep mentioning, I think the last couple of weeks now, he's starting to get up there.
Yep.
But yeah, Titans, just trying to stay in the trying to stay in that division there. Then a reasonable lead.
Oh, they got it. There's no one that's going to.
We'll see.
No.
Hopefully, unless they'll do the same thing that they've been doing, is win that division and then not make it through the first round.
Colts suck. Jaguars are starting to look like the Jags from old, and it's the Texans. It's all garbage. They're all just garbage. So
the role of the NFC East this year will be played by. All right. Up next, we have the Packers at the Commanders. Commanders come out with an upset.
Yeah. Taylor Heineke getting the start. And he's playing like he played with a lot of fire. Obviously, having to lose his job from last year to Carson Wentz. A position that he felt like he rightfully deserved. Because he has been the starter for the last few years and everything like that. Also, too, Packers. I love it. You suck, Aaron Rodgers. All I'm gonna say.
Oh god, the memes I've been seeing about him just laying face down at the end of that game right there, just oh man, there's some good ones out there.
Yeah,
they're saying just
he's acting like a bona fide scrub.
Right, exactly. All right, moving on. This I didn't see coming at all. The Buccaneers at the Panthers, and the Panthers putting a whooping on the Bucs.
Now, I will say, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, why don't you diss on Brady like you do Rodgers? Difference is, I actually like Brady. I don't like Rodgers. Brady's out. All of Brady's off the field shit that he's going through is playing in such a big factor in this, and it's unfortunate. This Bucs team might win the division. It's going to be at a very low ranking. And maybe Brady will turn it around, but they don't look good. They don't look good. That's the problem, is that this team just does not look good. And Carolina, got a good win. I don't think this team is worth anything, but they got a W.
I mean, I'm actually happy for PJ Walker getting a start again. I think that guy's deserve starts into the XFL.
He's been really good. They just need to just roll with him. Baker was not the guy. Sam Darnold's not the guy. Cam Newton's not the guy anymore. Just go with PJ Walker.
Yep, and then said Buccaneers, unfortunately, having some offensive woes going on right now. Like Mike Evans dropping that wide open pass that he had, and as soon as he brought it in, it just bounced right out.
Yep.
Very unlike him, but yeah, just the Bucs are kind of falling apart. See what happens here. I mean, I've been picking the Bucs all week. I think all season long to big games, and I'm just been striking out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it happens. This is probably the worst that Tom Brady's ever done, but we'll like to see how he bounces back.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. All right, next, Giants at the Jaguars. Nice, good little back and forth game against two young quarterbacks, and actually both teams are pretty young. Actually, if you look at it,
they are, but it's all about a G-Man. They came out fired up and they had a good game, and Jesus. And one of the biggest things is that the Giants are they're out to prove something, that when they're healthy, they're one of the legit teams, and Saquon being there really helps them out. And again, I think we're just starting to see the decline of the Jags, like we have been.
Yeah, having like those mid-season woes all of a sudden are starting to hit after they started out kind of hot.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is. Seeing you that, I'm just fan yet. Unfortunately, can't even read your language. Russian or
and it.
Oh, unless they start posting. Anyway, moving on. We have the Browns at the Ravens. Browns again, just having close games, but can't get it. And then Ravens actually holding on to a lead finally.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that the Browns need a quarterback. You need someone to fill in because they're relying too much on Nick Chubb. They're not being able to move the ball or anything like that. They keep fighting, everything like that. Ravens got the close win. I know your boy Mark Andrews got hurt, so we'll like to see what happened with that. Great win by the Ravens and great fight by the Browns.
Yep, nice, good, close game. Up next, just one of the surprises that we got going on this year: the Jets getting a win over the Broncos after the Broncos are just absolute shit. I'm just gonna say it, absolute shit.
About time you said it because I've been saying it all damn year.
Yeah, he has been saying it, but yeah, just Russell Wilson
I had to pick the Jets to win this game. I picked the damn Jets to win because I ain't picking the Broncos because they look like dumpster fire garbage. They look like shit.
I mean, all that hype, going in for them, and then now you're seeing the results of it. It's just
the problem is with the Broncos is that you literally did nothing for your team except get a quarterback. Your offensive line is still trash. Your running backs were mid at best. Your receiving core is at mid at best. Got rid of your number one tight end. Your defense is actually playing pretty well. But you got Randy Gregory. But to be honest, and this is something I will bring up at the end of this, is that this goes to show who was better in Seattle. Was it Russ or Pete Carroll? I will answer that question afterwards.
All right, sounds good. Texans at the Raiders up next. Raiders getting the win after a bye week. Josh Jacobs looks like he's actually starting to roll now.
He's having a pretty good start. I would like to see this continue and everything like that. Texans, really not good. They're looking like they're going to probably get the number one draft pick, which they probably deserve and deserve to use it on a quarterback. The Raiders looking like the Raiders that we kind of thought they would be, which, again, I think that they are underperforming for as good as that team is. So it's nice for them to get a win. Hopefully they continue and everything like that.
Yeah, I hope so too, because Raiders really need to bounce back after their really bad start.
Yep.
I just want them to stay ahead of the Broncos in that.
Oh, they will. Don't worry.
Up next, Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Chargers. I actually picked the Chargers to win this game, and Seattle surprised a lot of us and came away with the W.
I don't remember. Did I pick Chargers as well, or did I pick Seattle?
I think you went Seattle, and I went Chargers.
Okay. It's just something, and put some emphasis. I was going to side you, but you're drinking water right now. Put some emphasis on the Seahawks win. That's our team, baby. I mean, honestly, though, again, the unfortunate thing is that DK Metcalf got hurt and everything like that. But, and I'll touch base on this afterwards, but what a great win. What a great performance by Kenny Walker. I think that dude was a great steal in the draft for the Seattle Seahawks. A perfect Marquise Goodwin, actually playing really well this year. The defense is turning around. I mean, that's the biggest thing is that and that was the biggest thing that we talked about all year with Seattle was that their defense needed to step up. And they have been the last few weeks, and hopefully they continue. But what a great win. I mean, Chargers, are you a little overrated? Well, that's a big question mark right there is you guys should not be 4-3. You guys probably should be better. My question to you is, are you a little bit overrated?
Well, the other thing is, too, is that I looked at, too, with this Chargers, it's their offense, it's their wide receivers. In this game in particular, Keenan Allen came back from injury. He ended up having to come out because his hamstring was starting to bother him again. So they're thinking too soon for that. Going into the bye week this week, so he can have off. But also, I think they're tied in, and at least I know Mike Williams got banged up pretty good, too, in this game. So it's looking like they definitely need this bye week coming up and get that extra week's rest because Herbert was looking good. Unfortunately,
well, it's Herbert and Austin Eckler.
He just needs his weapons back. He needs his healthy weapons back.
Well, they need something more than Austin Eckler because Austin Eckler is really what they have.
Oh yeah, like I said, 12 receptions. That's even when the announcer says like, "Holy crap, the running back has more receptions than the wide receiver."
Well, Austin Eckler had both a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. You should know that's because of that. And it's just again, Chargers. It's almost like you don't want to play this card, but kind of are acting like you're overrated. Like you're not as good as what we all thought you were. So
Right.
maybe you're still a few years behind and need some more things, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's still early, but what a great win by Seattle.
Excuse me. Yep. Again, Kenny Walker though, great to watch.
Oh yeah,
great to watch. K9. Up next,
is that really what they're calling him?
Yep, calling him K9.
Whatever.
Up next, we have the Chiefs at the 49ers. Chiefs getting the win. I thought this would be a bit more closer game, but man, the Chiefs just put a whooping on the 49ers.
I didn't think so, because honestly, you can't expect the Niners to get McCaffrey 2 days before and get him ready. Like they're not ready for that.
I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, but I expected this game to be the way it is because I love the Niners, and I think that once McCaffrey gets comfortable, the Niners are going to turn around and take the NFC as a whole. But the Chiefs are literally one of the best teams in the NFL, and Patrick Mahomes is playing MVP, and it really showed. I mean, he threw 3 touchdowns, 400 plus yards. Like the Chiefs are kind of unstoppable outside of the Bills, which I think though they could take the Bills next time around. So,
oh yeah, like I said, I always look forward to those games.
Yep.
Against those two. Our last Sunday game, the Sunday night game, the Steelers at the Dolphins, the return of Tua. Dolphins actually, I watched the first part of this one. Dolphins did start off hot. Steelers did come back, came in within 6, but then the second half just.
It was nothing. As you can look at it right now, it's literally 0-0s. So to me, it didn't seem like a really big game. The Steelers are really nothing without T.J. Watt. They need to figure out their quarterback situation. And great to see Tua back and looking good and everything like that. And hopefully stays healthy and doesn't have any more injuries. But again, great job by the Dolphins.
So I actually want to bring this up right now because we have 2 quarterbacks return this week at Dak Prescott and Tua Tagovailoa. However you say it.
Tua. Just say Tua.
I'm just gonna say Tua.
You're hurting the Islander culture by trying to pronounce his name.
Sorry. This is one thing that's kind of getting to me a little bit. Was when quarterbacks like this, they come back and they get a win. And they all put the praise on this quarterback coming out when it's the running back that, had the game, or it's the defense that had, the game. What are your takes on stuff like that?
Quarterbacks are the most pampered, spoiled position in football. They get all the credit. They never get any of they never get any of the blame. They get all the praise, but no blame. And I think that's unfair because this is a sport, and honestly, you look at highlights and everything like that, there are some plays that quarterbacks have made that have been perfect throws, but a lot of times those receivers that make those outstanding catches, the credit is still given to the quarterback. And so I think that's a culture thing, and that's a thing that when I say culture, I think that's in the football community. Gotta stop you gotta stop pampering the fucking quarterback. You have to stop. You have to stop with this high appraisal. And honestly, too, and I've had a buddy of mine talk about this with the MVP vote. It's very easy just to give it to the quarterback because it's the easiest choice to do. I don't think last year that Aaron Rodgers should have been the MVP.
I agree.
I don't agree at all.
I thought Cooper Kupp.
I don't think there should have been a single quarterback in the MVP race. I think your final 2 should have been Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp.
If Derrick Henry didn't get hurt too and kept rolling,
Derrick Henry would have won it easily. Why are we looking at defensive players and stuff like that?
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. Stuff like that. I think though that, and this is something I'll bring up when I go to the next topic. afterwards about Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Again, I know this is the Russell Wilson Bash Fest. Trust me, trust me. Y'all thought it was a great move and thought he was going to be a Super Bowl contender. Say your shit. But again, too, like everyone credits quarterbacks in every one of these games, but they never blame them for anything. Never once blamed them for their piss poor performance. That's a factor that they blame the line and they blame receivers, they blame the defense. Well, no. Sometimes your quarterback plays shit. Take Dallas and Detroit, for example. Dak got the win, but the defense is still.
Thank you, Josh.
The defense is what won the game. And you know what? Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. Trash. Right? The Giants, they won. Trevor Lawrence did not lead them. You know, I don't think Daniel Jones is the reason why the Giants are good. And people are praising Daniel Jones. No. The reason why you're good is because Saquon's finally healthy. It's just one of those things where it's like...
The same thing with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's
the face. Derrick Henry is the reason why you're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Not Ryan Tannehill. He's not a great quarterback.
Especially, you could also probably point out how many of these running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends have bailed out these quarterbacks from bad throws or bad pitches, stuff like that, you know?
But again, there are some cases where I think the quarterbacks are more deserving than the credit that they're given. Like, I think Jimmy Garoppolo deserves a lot more credit than he was ever given.
Yeah.
But that's neither here or there, and that everything. But my thing is that with Tua and Dak, you just played two really bad teams. You honestly did. You honestly played two teams that defense can't do anything. They're, Detroit's defense is just... Detroit itself is just... I was praising them. I thought there was going to be hype, but apparently they're just back to being Detroit Lions. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, without TJ Watt, they're nothing. And that's my thing, is that Tua did subpar. He wasn't Tua lights out.
Yeah, that's what I'm pointing out. That's like, you know, they come back and they do subpar, but they still get all the credit.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is he was subpar. This was a boring game. This was a first half. If you think about it, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 field goals. There was only 2 touchdowns. This whole fucking game. Tua does nothing. I'm sorry, Tua does nothing. He brought nothing to the game. So, that's my thing.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, let's finish up with our Monday night game of the week. The Bears at the Patriots, and the Bears just putting a romping on the Patriots.
Means nothing to me.
I'm very surprised with where the Patriots are right now. I thought they would be at least over 500 so far.
The problem is
or at least 50-50.
The problem is that they're battling quarterback issue now. They're battling who should be the starting quarterback. Should it be Zappe or should it be Mac Jones?
That's what they're saying now. Is Mac Jones really not the guy now?
Weeks though. Again, you gotta give him time. Gotta give him time to recuperate. And I don't want to hear anybody from Chicago say Justin Fields. He's been as big as trash than fucking Russell Wilson. So fuck off with Justin Fields. He's bad.
As I have said many times, I feel like Justin Fields just tries to prove himself too much. That he tries to be like Patrick Mahomes, tries to be like Russell Wilson too much.
Look,
and
you went to Ohio State. Don't mean shit. Ohio State hasn't produced a single Hall of Fame quarterback in recent years. They produce defensive players. They don't really produce anyone on the offense outside of Ezekiel Elliott, but he's gone way downhill. So,
right. Okay. Anything more you'd like to add?
We'll do my segment out.
Okay, then I want to ask you the question that I was saving. So, I know we have at least one more, maybe 2 more overseas games. Have you seen at all if these have really been impacting these teams at all? that have done that do these?
I don't think I don't think it affects the teams as much as it's profiting the sport itself, the league. And I think the reason why they keep doing it is to eventually. They tried it once, it failed, but I think they want to try it again in the NFL Europe. I think they want to do that because they want to expand the sport of American football. Because one thing about football is that it's not a world sport, and it's a sport.
It's fairly strictly U.S.
It's very strictly U.S. Obviously, yes, there's the Canadian Football League. I know there's other countries that have their own football leagues, but if you actually watch them, they're just really bad. And it's not the level. The problem is the NFL with the NFL is it doesn't make that international money like the NBA, like Major League Baseball, like obviously soccer. But those three sports are worldwide. You see leagues, you see European leagues,
all over the world.
You see, Japanese leagues and stuff like that. And so I think that's the reason why I don't think it benefits any team because honestly, like they don't do matchups correctly in that aspect because a lot of those teams, some of them travel so far for these games. And I think that if you were to do these games, then have the teams that are on the bye weeks do the international so they can go down, spend a whole week there so they can get accustomed to the time zone because that's the big thing. It's the time zone. The time zones are different. A lot of these guys who are playing in the middle, at there, it's 6 o'clock here. So some of those guys, like when Seattle goes to Germany, their games at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
To them, is their sleep schedule going to be out of whack? So I don't think it benefits the players. I think it just benefits the league.
Yeah, it's more of a money grab for the league than anything.
It is. I get it, but again, I think it's just. It's not like we're gonna move. It's not like NFL teams are gonna move to London.
I don't think we're gonna, establish, a division over in London.
Because that's the thing is like you do that, but you don't put a team in Hawaii. Like you don't,
right?
I get Alaska. I still think eventually there should be a professional team in Alaska, like a hockey team or something like that. But again, I get you don't want to, all this stuff. But again, what's wrong with Hawaii? Hawaii is such a big fucking tourist thing that you can get fans, and I'm pretty sure they would love it. And again, though, you're going to talk about, well, what if an East Coast has to go all the way down there?
It's wherever they can get the most marketing.
Yep. I still think Hawaii would be good, but, that's just me.
Yeah.
Call them the Honolulu Turtles.
Honolulu Turtles. What island would it be on, though?
Honolulu. It'll be in Honolulu.
It'll be on They'll be the Honolulu Turtles, but they'll play on Kauai.
Hey, don't be shit. Whatever island puts a stadium,
Exactly.
I don't know. I was like, don't say that's racist. I'm Pacific Islander. We turtles, okay?
Fair enough. All right, guys. If that is all we have to say, we're going to move on to our next week's predictions. Starting off with Baltimore at Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with Baltimore after I've been picking Tampa Bay and it just hasn't been working well. Until I can see something back from Tom Brady in that team. I'm
going to take a shot. I'm going to say Tampa Bay. I still believe in Brady. So I'm going to take an upset and say Brady. I don't think it's probably going to happen, but I'll take it.
All right. Denver at Jacksonville. I'm going to give Jacksonville another chance here. I'm going to pick the Broncos.
I ain't picking the Broncos, so Jacksonville's take it. Russell Wilson? Fuck you.
We always got to get it in. At least one more time before the end of the stream. Up next, we have Carolina, Atlanta. I'm going to go with Atlanta.
I'm going to go Atlanta as well.
Chicago at Dallas.
Dallas.
Miami. Miami at Detroit.
Miami.
Arizona at Minnesota. I'm gonna roll with Minnesota.
Goal, motherfuckers.
Las Vegas at New Orleans.
Raiders.
I'm gonna go New Orleans.
Not a bad pick. I think Winston's back.
Just got that gut feeling.
I think Winston's back too. I think Jameis Winston's coming back.
Okay. I actually totally forgot about his timetable when he's supposed to be back. All right, sweet. New England at the New York Jets. I did.
I made the mistake picking him last week, but I'm never gonna pick Denver. So give me the goddamn Patriots. I ain't picking the Jets.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I feel like the Jets are gonna, that gravy train's gonna, off rails here soon.
It's gonna die soon.
I'm gonna go with New England, especially after their loss here. And then that's the other thing. If New England does lose this game, I don't think I'm gonna be picking New England much more going forward this season.
No,
it's kind of Up next, we got Pittsburgh at Philadelphia.
Fly Eagles fly.
Tennessee at Houston. Tennessee.
Titans.
Washington at Indianapolis.
Washington.
I'm gonna have to go with Washington now that Matt Ryan's calling as a starter.
Yep.
So you gotta ask him. This should be a good game. Hopefully, San Francisco at Los Angeles Rams. I might go with the Rams. Or excuse me, I'm actually gonna go with the Niners. All right, fine.
No, it's fine. I'm gonna go San Fran. I'm gonna go San Fran as well as Cal.
Yeah, even though Rams are coming off a bye week, I'm still gonna go with.
Yep.
New York at Seattle.
Or Seattle.
And then our Sunday night game, Green Bay at Buffalo. Give me the Bills.
Buffalo.
Josh Allen returning with that team for their bye week. And wow, this is our Monday night game. Cincinnati at Cleveland. Ugh, Cincinnati.
I actually don't mind this one.
That's the thing. Like I said, Cleveland's they've all been close.
Listen, we had 5 weeks of the fucking Denver Broncos and primetime games. I'll take anything at this point.
Actually, all three of these primetime games are actually good games.
They're actually good games. So give me the Bengals first and foremost. And again, we've had 5 weeks of the goddamn Broncos in some form of primetime game. We don't need them anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Like we were talking about the NFL expansion over to UK. I think they were betting on this whole Denver thing that Russ was just going to light it up over in Denver, so they could put him on all the prime time.
Good. Put him at 6:30 in the morning. I ain't going to wake my ass up for that shit.
I know when Buccaneers play the Seattle and
I'm still not waking up for that.
I love my team and everything, but I'm going to be still asleep at that time.
Yeah, it's 6:30 in the morning. Y'all are crazy. Y'all just
it's on a Sunday too.
Y'all need to fix your shit.
Sunday sleep in day and then watch football.
Yep.
All right. Anything more you'd like to add?
Yes. So the big question that has came up recently was about the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson, and the big question I think I'll ask you is: was Russ successful because of the Seattle Seahawks program, or because he was actually good?
I think he started off good, especially because he was a rookie those first 3 seasons. But after the Super Bowl, it was because of the program.
I don't think it was good at all. I think it was because of the program from the start. Because, in a way, you have to think about it, is the program that Pete Carroll has produced, he's only missed the playoffs 3 times since becoming the head coach. Seattle. Yes, he took a 7-19 to the playoffs.
And 12 and 13.
Yep. And look where he's at right now. They may miss the playoffs this year, but the Seahawks were supposed to be a 2-win team.
Oh yeah.
Our 2 first round picks this year was supposed to be a top 5 and one not until like the playoffs. But they said the top 5 was Seattle's. We're gonna have a top 5 pick because of Denver, not because Seattle. Seattle will probably finish in the top 15. I think, and again, this is where I was going back to quarterbacks get all the praise and everything like that, is exactly that statement. Russ took all the credit for Seattle's success. They never once really thanked Seattle. They never appreciated Pete Carroll. Now they're starting to realize, Carroll was the reason why Russ was successful. It ain't Denver, because he's not doing anything in Denver, and it's easy to blame Nathaniel Hackett. And again, this is where quarterbacks need to take the freaking blame when they're playing like crap. Russ is playing like crap. Don't mind me checking something real quick. But I want to point this out real quick. Okay, you look at all these list of quarterbacks, right? This guy right here. So all these guys right here are former Pro Bowlers. You have 1, 2, 3 MVPs. A guy who's probably going to win
Super Bowls.
Super Bowls, and you have this guy. Geno Smith is ranked in the top 10 of quarterbacks this year. You know, if you want to cut you want to do completion percentage, right? Geno Smith is second.
Yeah.
Behind a guy who's had literally one throw.
Yeah, he's won.
You think of yards, right? You think of yards. You know, Geno is ranked 7th. You know, touchdowns. Geno is ranked 6th. So, QBR. Geno is ranked 4th. Rating. Geno is ranked 3rd.
So overall, he's a top 5 quarterback.
And this was never Geno Smith in
the Jets.
In the Jets.
The Jets, or when he went to New Orleans, or when he was with
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
But let's take a look at this guy right here. Top 25. So in rating, he ranks 25th. In QBR, he ranks 29th. In sacks, he's 6th. Geno is 9. Okay, so a little bit comparison there. That's pretty simple. Let's see who's thrown more picks.
Geno's 35.
Geno's 35th. Okay. Russell Wilson's 35.
Right there.
So they equal that.
Both are in.
You know, touchdowns. Well, again, we saw Geno was ranked 6th. Okay. Russ is ranked 25th.
5.
Okay. We are talking yards. See here. So we talked about Geno was ranked 7th.
Got 1,700.
And Russ has got
1,400.
He's got there. Completion percentage.
73.5.
So second. Technically number 1, because again, Brian Hoyer doesn't count.
He doesn't count.
Then you have Russell Wilson, whereas he's 31st.
58 points.
So this is my point, is how is Russ this great quarterback? And again, I know a lot of people are like, well, it's his first year. Well, I'm sorry. Peyton Manning's first year in the Denver Broncos broke every freaking record, led him to 13-3 or 14-2, and took him to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Tom Brady's first year with the freaking Bucks took him to the Super Bowl, had a great year and everything like that.
Won it.
So my thing is Russ needed Seattle. I think we're seeing what Russell Wilson really is compared to what he was. and again, you think about Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn needed Seattle. That's where he needed. He did okay in Buffalo. He did okay in Oakland, but he needed Seattle. Pete Carroll's system is what helps all these players. His system is flawed at times, but it's not broken. It's good. And just like what he's done, the Hawks are doing well. Geno Smith, yeah, he's not the producer like Russell Wilson was, but then again, Russell's not producing shit.
Yep. Also, we have a ground game that's working for us too right now, which is we've been missing.
His ground game, like, you think about it, this dude, Rashad Penny, he got hurt, was on a pretty good streak. Kenneth Walker's on his way and everything like that. Honestly, this is my point about all this is the Hawks are 4-3 in a division where literally these three teams, either one of them is going to win it at any point. Yep. No one counted them.
Yep.
And yeah, the Seattle Seahawks lost to the Niners. That's week 2. They whooped on the Cardinals. They'll probably lose to the Rams. But then again, you think about conference, right? And the Broncos are sitting towards the bottom. And the Hawks, I can't even see them. Oh,
5th.
They're 5th. They're the 5th best team in the NFC. So this is my thing, and I'll let you. You'll have your turn too. I think that the debate about why Russell Wilson, in my opinion, is overrated is look where he's at. I don't give a shit if you want to say it's only been 7 games. Daniel Hackett, this no, their team is garbage because of their quarterback. The Hawks are great because their quarterback's playing lights out because the system they run is fit for him.
Yeah, you have to adapt. That's always my thing is like, you should adapt your offense how your quarterback plays. And we've actually seen this a lot of times where a quarterback will enter a new system out of college that coach, like, this is his system, you only go by his system. Well, that's not that way this quarterback plays. So that's one thing that we've actually noticed, and I believe about Carroll's that, every quarterback, I think the 3 quarterbacks he's had, Hasselbeck, Russell, now Geno. I can't remember if he had
Tavares check.
Did he have Tavares? Like, I thought that was only Mora had him that 1 year.
Yeah, from 1.
Okay. He developed the offense around those guys to their strength. He did that. He didn't just come in and say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. So I think that's definitely what we're seeing is that, I think we're seeing where Russell going to the Denver Broncos, and we've even seen it the last couple of years over in Seattle where he tried to become more of a pocket passer, and that's really not his style of play. To where, Geno, he was, they tried to make him a pocket passer over at the Jets, but really he was more of a scramble guy. So literally kind of flipped him, to offenses that they're good and that they're not good at. So I think, looking at this now, we definitely got the better end of the deal. Plus, going forward, with the drafts, I can't remember. Did we get all those picks in this next year's draft, or
it's a mix? It's a mix of like
next year
and this year draft. Yeah.
And I think, looking at this, we definitely got the better of it than what they. And it looks like Denver's literally like pulling their hair out of their head right now. Like, what the fuck did we just do?
Well, that's the thing, though, is that, and think about all the years of Russell Wilson. Russ always wants. This is the thing, and this is the big thing that everyone needs to learn. Russ isn't being forced to be a pocket passer. He wants to be a pocket passer. He wants to be, he has always wanted to be in the likes of Brady and Manning and Montana and Marino. He wants to be a pocket passer. He doesn't want to run. I'm sorry, that's where your legacy has been. And this is the thing, and think back to all these years with Seattle. When they say let Russ cook, and they change the offense to let Russ throw the ball 40, 50 times a game. We weren't good.
No, we weren't.
Russell was putting up numbers, cool, great. We were still losing the games. So every time they went back to the Carroll offense, which
once we got away from the running game and went more pass heavy, that's where it went down.
Exactly. Pete Carroll's offense is a West Coast offense where they mix the run with short passes. And there's a couple deep route options, but you don't really want to hit them all the time. So when they started going back to them, that's when Seattle was always successful. That's Russell Wilson's game. You're not a pocket passer. You are a West Coast offense guy. If Broncos ever want to succeed, you need to go back to that, Russ, and you need to get over your little ego that you're a pocket passer, because you're not. You're not a pocket passer. You're barely a quarterback at this point. And you can see, too, these guys have fun. And then when they lose, yeah, there's frustrations. DK shows it. But they still fight. These guys are about ready to commit mutiny and overthrow their freaking quarterback. Because again, one of my big issues about this guy is that why is he always asking for more money? He's never been an MVP. Over half of your freaking Pro Bowls have been you've been the alternate for someone who decided not to play.
Pretty much.
And you take that as, I'm going to go show the world what I am. I'm a Pro Bowl quarterback. I'm sorry. This guy's been in the Pro Bowl more times than you and has never gone because half the time he's playing in the goddamn Super Bowl. This guy just doesn't give a shit. And to be fair, Russ, let's see where they rank as the league. Okay. So Seattle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're the 9th best team in all of NFL. Where do the fucking Broncos rank? 30 what? There's 31 teams, 30 teams? 32? 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. You're the 26th best team, and every team below you is literally dumpster fire garbage.
Yeah.
So you're literally, as we look at it right now, if this was the draft, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th pick in next year's draft. And then we don't have another draft pick until this pick right here. And frankly, it's quite funny because they thought Seattle should be here, Denver should be here. Why do I hate Russell Wilson? It's because of this bullshit. Overhypeness of a guy who's literally just mediocre. Honestly, nothing.
Well, also too, like what we've seen lately from teammates come out, finally have had enough of it and are coming out and saying stuff now too.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the facial expression on the sideline of the Denver Broncos offense. They're tired of this. They're tired of his lack. They're not even blaming Nathaniel. No one is blaming Nathaniel Hackett, by the way, on the Denver Broncos. Not a single person is blaming Nathaniel Hackett except for Russ throwing him under the bus with not letting him, saying oh, I'm not going to go against my coach's wishes and his calls and everything like that. So you're throwing him under the bus. He throws him under the bus. No one on that team has ever blamed Nathaniel Hackett. It's the media that blames Nathaniel Hackett. It's these NFL experts that blame Nathaniel Hackett. They don't want to blame Russ. Why? Russ is just a quarterback. Let Russ cook. Let Russ cook. I'm sorry, this fucker can't cook. I mean, the first day you let him cook, the stadium burned down.
I know, I love that.
And apparently, I don't want him cooking because apparently Thanksgiving dinner is going to be fake as shit, just like him.
It almost feels like Denver's been looking for a quarterback, and with a new coach, that they just literally just try to sell the farm just to get something for this new head coach. And the head coach is like, "Oh, out of all these guys, I want Russell Wilson." And now it's like, should have gone with Plan B.
Honestly, though, and this was also Russell Wilson's fault. I want to go to Denver. You want to be Peyton Manning, but you're not Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is a football genius.
Well, that's the thing. You got Elway and Peyton Manning there, so that's probably what he was thinking, that he can go there.
Well, because again, that's what Peyton did. They all think that Russell Wilson is what Peyton Manning is, and he's not. Peyton Manning is good. He's a great. If he actually won more Super Bowls, he'd be the greatest of all time. There's actually a story that people forget. Right before he signed with Denver, Peyton Manning was actually supposed to get on a jet and come to Seattle.
Yeah.
And imagine if he would have signed with Seattle for 4 years. Guess what? We win 3 out of 4 Super Bowls. I call it right now. We go to 4 Super Bowls and we win 3 of them.
Damn.
We go to the Super Bowl when it's Baltimore to San Francisco. We take out San Francisco. We beat Baltimore.
You know, I wish we. You know, what would be great to do. Go get that year that his final year in Indianapolis. Get that Madden of that year and have it simulate that season as him as the starting quarterback. See how would happen.
Yeah, because again, you have Peyton Manning, Hall of Fame quarterback. You have Marshawn Lynch. You have the Legion of Boom. I'm sorry, NFL, but we would have smoked the shit out of all of y'all. And again, that's where you got to just start looking at how Russ is to be blamed for everything. Because again, he wanted to be the guy in Super Bowl 49. And what did he do? He threw a pick. You ruined a dynasty. You ruined literally a dynasty that was made because your defense. Your defense was, you were on the verge of becoming, because again, look how bad he was. He threw 5 picks in the NFC Championship game against the Broncos. The reason why you won it is because your defense kept you in the game. Denver Broncos, your defense is keeping you in the game, but your quarterback ain't doing jack shit. And another reason why he was more successful in Seattle than he is in Denver, Marshawn bailed him out. Chris Carson bailed him out.
We had running games.
That's exactly my point. Is everyone bailed him out and protected him.
Yes, we also had good wide receivers too, but...
Oh, no. You kidding me? Our receiver core, we think is good, but everyone else thinks is trash. We didn't have studs.
That's what I'm saying. We had a good wide receiver core. We didn't have, the big guys. We didn't have the DK Metcalf back then like we do now.
But again, he thinks here that Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are better than anybody's ever had.
Bullshit. You're talking about guys like Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett that you had there for ever are better. These guys are better.
Even a guy that you hate is Golden Tate. Way better than these guys.
Yeah, I'd put him over that.
I still don't get why people hate Golden Tate. He didn't fuck his wife. That's just a rumor because he left. No, Seattle just chose Percy Harvin over Golden Tate. It's a dumb move. But then again, there's the problem right there, is that everything that Russ has came out with in the beginning, I don't have to carry a team anymore. No, the team carried you. You have to carry this team. You have to be the reason why this team is good. You're 2-5, and you're the reason why it sucks. It's not your defense. It can't be Jerry Jeudy. You got to throw the damn ball to Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton. Your running backs are overworked because they're having to carry the load and they keep fumbling. You have to be the guy, Wilson.
And they're getting hurt.
Your successor, who was a bust in a draft. People considered him a bust in the NFL draft. Is now ranked in the top 10 of all categories in passing. And you're at the bottom. Russ, you needed Seattle. You need Pete Carroll. You're not successful. We're seeing what Russell Wilson you really are.
Yeah, you can definitely also too. And I was just thinking about this. You know how he had this whole thing where had so many wins for so many seasons that he was breaking so many records. You're looking at people like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, that are just gonna blow that away now because of this.
I mean, for God's sakes, Mahomes in 2 years as a starter. Don't count his rookie year because he sat out. So yeah, okay, Russell started his rookie year. Whatever, right? Patrick Mahomes' first year as a starting quarterback threw for over 50 touchdowns and won the MVP and was literally an overtime away from going to the fucking playoffs. Thank you, D Ford, for going offsides on that play. You should have won the game that way. Very next year, Patrick Mahomes goes to Super Bowl, wins it, and gets Super Bowl MVP. Next year, you go to the Super Bowl, lose to the Buccaneers, but it doesn't denounce your play because you actually were trying so damn hard, and guys like Tyreek Hill gave up on you. Think about Russell Wilson. Rookie year, goes to the playoffs, gets a Pro Bowl as an alternate. Second year, goes to Super Bowl. Honestly, though, your 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl 48 were literally when you were already up by 30 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, right.
You did nothing.
You could have just sat the rest
of the night. You literally did nothing. Your defense scored more touchdowns than you did.
I mean, we literally had to bring the backup quarterback, and he got a touchdown, and that's how much.
Exactly. You have Super Bowl 49 where, again, Marshawn and the defense kept you in. And the reason why Brady came back is because A, Brady's Brady, and B, your defense was fucking tired because they were out there. Not to mention, Earl, Cam, and Richard Sherman were all injured, and they still played lights out. They just were tired. They were absolutely tired. And you threw the game-winning interception. You never were an MVP vote. You've never received one. And your Super Bowl, you didn't even get consideration for an MVP. Percy Harvin, Marshawn Lynch, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner, Cliff Averill, Earl Thomas, Doug Baldwin were all considered for the MVP, but not you, Russ. You're not great. You're not a fucking...
Instead, Malcolm Smith got it.
I still think that was so stupid, but I get why. But I think it should have been Cam Chancellor. But neither here or there. Russell Wilson, stop putting yourself in the category of those Hall of Fame. Because you're going to make the Hall of Fame because of your time in Seattle. But you're proving to me, you're proving what I've said for a while, proving to everyone, are you really back? Because let's be real, Peyton Manning never had a bad year. And the time he did, it was his very last year, and he was fucking done. His arms were shot and everything. This is Brady's first bad year we've seen in his whole entire career. And this dude's been around for 20-some-odd years.
I know, and he just came out, oh yeah, I'm going to keep playing forever.
Yeah. Russ, you haven't produced well. You don't deserve MVP. You never deserved an MVP nomination, in my opinion. And you should eat some humble ass pie and thank Seattle for what they did, because if it ain't worth for them, you would be exactly where fucking Geno Smith was, Jameis Winston, all the fucking Ryan Leaf, fucking where Matt Ryan is right now. Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, you just a bona fide grub nugget.
To the line. One last time.
One last time?
One last time.
Russell Wilson? Fuck you.
All right. As you guys can tell, we've been paying a lot of attention to this because of all this shit that's just been coming up, and it's showing. It really has been showing. So, I mean, yeah, seeing these podcasts with these former players or reading stories and just even seeing the games themselves, it's just not. It's really showing something about it. Yes, we're thankful for what you did. Yes, luckily Pete Carroll was there to help your ass. But right now, like these last, I'm gonna say 3 years, including your season that you have right now, you just gone downhill so much.
I'm gonna take this back. I'm gonna eat my humble pie and take it back and say this. Thank you to the Seattle Seahawks for the wonderful years we've had for the last 10 plus. I am not gonna thank Russell because you literally were the micro part of this organization's success. Because again, the defense bailed your. How many times, Russell Wilson, you ain't never gonna respond, but I don't give a shit. How many times was your defense ranked number 1 and helped you win every game? At least 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
Oh yeah.
But again, we want to fire all the defensive coordinators because they're just not good. Kenny Norton, Gus Bradley, Darrell Bevel, all that stuff. We should fire them.
Well, even our O-line coach,
Tom Cable.
We fired him. Dude, literally 6 of your starters are fucking injured.
Yeah.
You have these.
But again, it's not Russ's fault though.
Yeah.
Russ is the reason why we're winning games. And for that, I say, Pete Carroll, thank you for 10 years. Thank you for the last 10 plus years of just success. Thank you to the Legion of Boom, to the defense that we've had, with Marshawn Lynch, Rashad Penny, Chris Carson, Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, Golden Tate, Tyler Lockett, still on the fence with DK Metcalf. Russell, thank you for the tiniest little part that you've played in all that. Because again, your ass was protected like none other. Fuck you.
All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Next week, we will do our MVP picks along with our offensive, defensive player of the year and all that stuff. Mid-season picks. Next podcast. Looking forward to see who we got for those picks because I think we should pick somebody even if we do pick the same one still.
Oh, yeah.
But to see who do we think definitely who's going to be like the rushing leader, who's going to be defensive player of the year and all that stuff at that point. So looking forward to that.
Oh, I got my prediction for defensive player of the year. I'll tell you right now, it's Russell Wilson. Greatest defender of all time. Why? He defends his team from match preventing winning fucking game.
Oh! All right, everybody. Thank you all very much. We'll see you guys next time. And as always,
deuces!